This is the Wow Hua Hin channel, hosted by Kun Nook.
Hello, welcome to Wow Hua Hin channel. My name is Nook. Today we will be talking about the bicycle tours in Hua Hin. My guest today is Kun Christopher Byrd. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Thank you for being my guest today. How did you get into the bike tour?
Well, I was into cycling ever since I was a little kid, and then my father got me into it being more of a hobby as I started to get older. And then I went for years without cycling, being in the military and going to school and all that. But I eventually was asked by one of the companies I worked for to join a charity ride from Raleigh, North Carolina to Washington, D.C. It was a 3.5-day, 500-kilometer bike ride, and it was harder than any other bike ride I'd ever done, but I fell in love with it. And so I did it year after year, and then I ended up moving to Thailand and came up with the idea to do something similar here.
What made you choose Thailand?
I was in the hospitality industry for most of my life, and one of the last places I worked at in the United States was a restaurant, bar, and nightclub called Cafe Asia. And most of the staff there were Thai.
Okay.
And I needed a vacation, and they all said, go to Thailand. So I thought, okay, why not? And I came here and I loved it. But the goal was to go back to America and look for another career sales job. But while I was here, 9/11 happened. And so when I went back to America, the whole country was like in shock, and it was really a bad time. And so I was just working at Cafe Asia, and people asking me, did you like Thailand? I loved it, had a great time. What are you going to do now? I don't know. And then finally one of my friends said, why don't you live in Thailand? And I thought, oh, maybe I could do that.
It's a good idea, right?
Yeah, so I took the opportunity and just came over here with 2 bags of clothes, $2,000 to my name, and started my life over again. I got lucky and I got a job managing a British pub in Bangkok. That got me on my feet, and in Bangkok, inside the pub mostly, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and finally took the opportunity after saving some money that I would look for something else, but I wanted to take a vacation and ride my bicycle the length of Thailand. So I did a charity ride I called Tour to Thailand, and it was quite successful. And then they asked me, people involved in media and stuff asked me, are you going to do it again next year? And I really never wanted to get on a bike again at that point, but I managed to get myself to say, okay, I'll do it again next year. So I did it the next year, and that's when I started dreaming about having a bicycle touring company. And then a year later, I'm thinking, wow, it'd be great to get out of Bangkok and do day tours and half-day tours, bicycle rentals. And now we do charity rides and all that. So
This is like to have like a bike company is not it's not usual, right?
Well, I mean, there's lots of bicycle touring companies around the world. There's quite a few of them here in Thailand. A lot of people assume that I'm Dutch when they find out that I have a bicycle touring company, but no, Americans can do it too. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I never thought I'd own my own business. I never thought I'd have a bicycle touring company. I've always dreamed about living by the beach, so that was a big goal of mine. And after riding the length of Thailand numerous times, Prachuap Khiri Khan was by far my favorite province.
Okay.
And then Hua Hin is naturally the only place that I could really do tourism industry and stand to make a living, which is quite difficult at the moment.
Are there so many routes in Hua Hin area for the bicycles?
There's quite a few. As you know, on the map, it's very long and narrow, so you're limited. Mostly, it's up and down the beach, but I'm okay with that. That's one thing I really enjoy and never get tired of. It's just riding the bicycle on a small, quiet road next to a beautiful beach and looking at the water. It's very soothing and relaxing, and just takes your mind off the problems of the world.
I saw many bikes right there. Are there so many different kind of bikes?
Yes, there are many different types. We We have a limited variety. We like to have a bike assortment that handles people of all sizes, including children, even infants, and then different sizes for adults. We have chosen predominantly hybrid bikes. It's a hybrid, not meaning an electric hybrid, but it's a cross between like a road bike, which is a racing bike, and a mountain bike. Because we don't do serious mountain biking tours, but we do some off-road, which these are fine on. And then we do most of our riding on paved ground and tarmac. So we want a bike that's going to roll smoothly, but we want the customer to be able to sit up and see Thailand, because you get the racers who are bent over watching the back wheel of the guy in front of them, and I'm like, you can do that at home, you know. If you're going to come to Thailand, sit up, see Thailand, be seen by traffic too. It's real important that the cars and motorbikes can see people on the bikes, so it's a big safety issue as well. Yeah, and so we have a fleet of bikes. Yeah, we specialize in long distance charity rides. So, you know, we want them to be good quality and to roll smoothly, so it's minimal resistance when people are riding. You get a mountain bike, it's going to be heavier, it's got moving front shocks.
What's the difference, like mountain bike and this one, like the tire or something?
Yeah, the tires would be fatter, and they would have a rougher tread on them.
Okay.
So you're going to go down the road, it's going to slow you down more. Mm-hmm. They tend to be heavier, and they also tend to come with at least front shocks, which means when you're riding, it's kind of bouncy, and that all that just kind of takes away from your energy. But on mountain bike trails, it's necessary, because you need the shocks to absorb some of the bumps and all that.
So when you say the kids can enjoy the bike tour,
yes.
So what's the maximum, like the minimum age?
We've had infants as young as 1 year, and 1 year and a couple of months. We have these baby seats can attach to the back of the bike, and so if it's an adult who's confident riding a bicycle with their child, a lot of Europeans do that on a regular basis. They can ride with their child right here.
Is it safe though, like to have?
It's quite safe.
Like when you go as a group like this, they have to be up front, right?
We don't take the children on long distance tours. They would only go on like a day tour, and we would have the support vehicle behind us.
Okay.
So we're blocking traffic coming from behind. The tour leader would be on the side of traffic, and they would usually be monitoring the customer who's closer to the side of the road to make sure that they're out of harm's way at all times. The children, of course, are wearing a helmet as well, and like I said, it has to be somebody. If for the child seat on the back of the bike, there has to be somebody who's very confident in riding the bike and strong, because it's extra weight too. But now we have the other options of what we call a tag along and a weehoo, and those attach to the back of the bike, and that's much easier. It's not going to sway you side to side with the weight. It's just a little bit of weight you're pulling behind. So that goes a little bit more smoothly. But yeah, whenever one of our tours has a child 12 or younger, it's a private tour automatically, because we have to focus on the safety of the children.
How many people are in the group for like private?
We do tours from 2 on up. If it's a mixed group without children, like a couple adults, a couple more adults, maybe some teenagers, we'll do. I think we do a maximum of 8.
8 people. Okay.
Yeah, but our charity rides, we've done over 105.
105.
Yes.
Oh wow.
That's a big.
So from where to where?
We did from Phetchaburi down to Khao Lak.
Okay.
It was an 800 kilometers in 8 days charity bike ride.
So when you said about the charity bike, like how does it work? Like,
well,
are you raising the money? Like,
yeah. Well, to round out the story a little bit, I got started when I started my Tour to Thailand charity rides. That was my idea that I carried over from the rides I did in America. And then I got contacted by a charity called Hands Across the Water from Australia. It's a little warm today. So yeah, Hands Across the Water contacted me. They had heard about my tour Tour to Thailand rides, and they asked me if I could do that for them. And of course, that was a dream come true, because that's what I want to do, is charity rides and all that. But so the way it works is we organize the ride, we provide the bicycles, we provide the support vehicles, the trailers, everything pretty much. They provide the customers, pardon me, they provide the customers. Most of them come from Australia, because that's where the charity is based. And now the structure, the customers pay for the tour, but of course, because they're bringing a big group, we give quite a good discount. And then they have to raise money for the charity on top of that. Now, all that money comes to children here in Thailand.
Okay.
And so the Hands Across the Water supports 7 children's homes around Thailand. And through our bicycle rides, I believe they've raised between 12 and 15 million Australian dollars so far. So the client pays for the tour, because it's their holiday, and they want to enjoy the biking and the meals and the hotels and all that stuff. But they go out to their friends and family and coworkers, and they ask them to make a donation to this very responsible charity that's going to help children here in Thailand. And that's what they do. I think for an 8-day tour, it's $10,000 minimum per person, and then for a 5-day tour, it's $5,000.
So it's a good opportunity for the people that come to Thailand, like they never been to Thailand, like to join this trip, and they do.
Yeah, they get to see the country in the best way possible. They get to experience the food, the beaches, the mountains, the countryside. We do tours in Isan along the Mekong River. They really get to see the natural countryside of Thailand and enjoy everything. They learn a bit about the language and the culture and all that in between.
This is the Wow Hua Hin channel.
Good, Chris. Who is this special lady?
This is my wife, first and foremost, and she's also my business partner, and she goes by the nickname Gay. Of course, she can pronounce her name even better than I can, her real Thai name, which is...
Ghé, that's my nickname.
And your Thai name?
My Thai name is Sirani, my middle name is Misit, and my last name, Byrd.
So what's your responsibilities here?
My role to this company, keep it short, at the moment, I'm a licensed tour guide, I'm a Thai director of the company, I'm an event coordinator, I'm help communicate between staff and the hotel and Chris. So I can say that I'm an all-in-one service, one-stop service.
Are there many like the tourists like that come here to do the bike tour in Hua Hin?
Yes, they were and they will. At the moment, as you know, the tourists start to come back. But before, we were really busy, and like I think you mentioned before that 99% are customer tourists from abroad. And hopefully in the future, we'll have more customers to come and do the bike ride with us.
Like, what do you see in the future about this kind of business in Hua Hin?
I see that people still would like to travel around, and travel by bicycle, it's getting more popular in my opinion, and also it's an eco-friendly way to see country, to see local.
How many places in Hua Hin that you guys take the
Well, it's hard to say places, because on each tour we visit multiple places because we're traveling. So we have generally our bike tours are from 20 to 45 kilometers on these day tours, and we see multiple places, temples, beautiful beachfront roads, small country roads. We go to the Monsoon Valley Vineyard. We do Khao Sam Royot National Park. We do Burma to the beach, where we start at Dan Sing Khon border, and we go down to Wat Khor Aquarium, and along the 3 bays of Prachuap, Ao Manao, Ao Prachuap, and Ao Noi. We have amazing lunches. We just have a great time out. As you can see, it's quite hot here in Thailand, and you two both know even better than I. But when you're on the bike, you've got those cool breezes, and it's just cooling you down. And then we have numerous stops along the way with plenty of ice cold water, watermelon, pineapple, things like that to really refresh you. And
Can you ride the bike in Hua Hin all year round?
yes, pretty much throughout Thailand you can ride the bike all year round, but a lot of people, they consider the weather when they come to Thailand, and of course they get a little bit intimidated when they hear it's the rainy season. However, here in Hua Hin, we get the least amount of rainfall of anywhere else in the whole country, and the rain tends to fall in the late afternoons. So if you ride in the mornings like we do, or in the early afternoons, you're pretty much done cycling before the rains come.
Is it safe to ride the bike in Thailand?
I have mixed feelings on that. Our tours are very safe. We have a support vehicle behind us on our premium tours all the time, which really helps protect us from the back, and also increases our visibility. So any cars around us will see that this big van riding behind us has its hazard lights on and there's something going on. And then they see us on bikes and they pay more attention. In all cases, major factor in accidents with cars is quite often when the car is not paying attention and doesn't see the cyclist. So we make sure that we're as visible as possible. We also carefully choose the most scenic and smallest, lightest traffic roads to ride on, so that we're not, on the highways or anything like that. We're on bicycle paths or small roads next to the beach. So there's limited traffic, and they can only go so fast. And of course, speed is always a major factor in accidents. So if you're not around fast cars on the highway, it makes it a lot safer.
On top of that, though, we don't take customers to ride bicycle in dark.
At night time, right?
Yeah, no, only daytime.
Yep.
So what's your impression about like riding the bike?
To me, riding bicycle, I feel freedom though. I feel like most of Asian female, they worry about how their skin will be look like, what color of their skin will be look like, and they limited themselves to enjoy their activity outdoor. And riding bicycle, it's eco-friendly way to travel, and you can stop anytime you want. You can ride through the small village, through the rice field. You feel different compared to just driving, sitting in the car or on the bus for traveling. So to me, it's unique. I invite everyone to try ride bicycle every day if you can.
So that changes the mood, like the
Yes.
Okay, it's like one of the exercise, right? Activity.
Exactly. It's one of the way for me, for people to do exercise, and it's healthy.
What would be your advice for the people who come to Thailand to ride the bike here?
Yes, I highly recommend it. It's one of the things that keeps me here. Is it's such a great place to ride a bicycle. The weather, the scenery, the friendliness of Thai people, the amazing food, which is really awesome when you're riding a bike, the fresh fruits and vegetables, the small roads that take you into beautiful villages and fishing villages and rice fields and just everything. It's just the best way to see the country. A lot of people are very experienced and can do it on their own. Some people I see going down the Thai highways, and I'm thinking, do they know that there's a spectacularly beautiful beachfront road just a couple kilometers that way, that they can do the same, or they can hire us to guide them on our routes, which are the best in Thailand.
Oh, thank you so much for today, Naka, for giving me such a good information about riding bike in Thailand.
Thank you for
Join
having
us.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Swadee Khap.
Thanks for watching the Wow Hua Hin channel. Do leave your comments or questions below and we'll get back to you. The Wow Hua Hin channel is produced by Surf 102.5 and Royal Coast Review in association with the Phoenix Group.